hello to y'all. I hope y'all doing okay. I just want to give y'all a heads up before we get into this topic today, that this topic is probably going to be a heavy one for some people, because I know a lot of folks do not want to talk about death at all. And this is about death, actually. I know I told y'all probably in an episode or two ago that I lost my grandfather April 2023. That was just last month. And of course, I've lost many other folks, of course, along the last 46 years I've been alive as well. But I just wanted to talk about something today that nobody seems to want to talk about, but it always happens. The topic is, why does death bring out the worst in people? And like I said, I definitely want to welcome you to this podcast. This podcast episode is sponsored by the social worker coach. And like I said, definitely there'll be a link in the description of the YouTube video, YouTube, just to let you know. And of course, podcast, the social worker coach, there'll be a link there that will take you to some resources that I have available for you. So definitely, there's one that I want to point out to you. It's the Power of Journaling workshop. After this particular episode, you may need to start journaling and start writing and trying to figure out what happened in your past as far as death and the family craziness and dynamics and that kind of thing. Make sure that you pick up that today. It's actually free. So make sure you pick it up. It's called The Power of Journaling. It comes with the entire journaling workshop, and it comes with 100 journaling prompts to go ahead and get you started in your writing journey to get things out so that you can start healing and lessening those triggers. So, again, this is Tonetta, your social worker coach. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, one more thing. Podcast, social worker coach podcast. If you're listening to this on there on Spotify or whatever platform you listen to your podcast on, make sure that you're subscribing to my channel there, and make sure that you're of course commenting. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what has went on in your family after when there was a death in the family. I want to know if y'all had chaos or whether smooth sailing and everything was fine. So definitely let me know. Same thing on YouTube. Make sure that y'all are subscribing to my channel, and make sure that y'all put in the comments. I want to hear from y'all whether you've had a death in the family and whether it's been chaotic or drama, or what was it, or was everything smooth sailing. Let your girl know. So but like I said, definitely I want to go ahead and get into this episode. This episode is sparked by not just my grandfather's death, but deaths of others I've had as well. Why does death bring out the worst in people? Since the earliest death I can remember, it's been years ago. Um, the first one I believe I had was my big mama. I want to say, gosh, either my big mama or my uncle, one of the two. But the earliest death that I had, I just remember that. Of course, things were usually okay. I mean, things were going fine, but it just seems like over the years, it just seems like chaos always ensued. People fighting, people arguing, people can't get along, people trying to steal the deceased one's items and money, and just all this craziness going on. Family, nobody's agreeing with what's going on with the funeral. Somebody wanted something else and somebody wanted this, but ain't nobody willing to pay for anything. Like I said, there's been, and I go through this, I've been going through this with my clients as well. For the last, almost 7.5 years almost, I work with the older population, the seniors and the disabled, those who are elderly. I can't tell you how many times that with them as well, the similar kind of thing, the stories that they told me. Family fighting, somebody died, somebody passed away, family fighting, family acting a fool. People want to, I guess, come and take stuff. Thinking so and so had all this money. Now they want the money, and just all this craziness. For what? When somebody dies, it's already a high emotion time already. Nobody should have to go through chaos and drama and trauma or whatever it is surrounding the whole entire thing just because somebody passed away. Let that person rest in peace is how I feel about it. I mean, that's just craziness. And I know y'all have seen probably some movies where folks were acting a fool, falling all on top of the caskets and doing all this stuff. And it's just like, it's not, I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. But for me, it's not necessary. Not that, but when it comes to the trauma and the dramas, at funerals, at the burial site, when somebody dies, any of those kind of things. You can fall out, cry, that's fine. I stated that wrong. But like I said, when it comes to the trauma and drama, why is that? And especially, I can't speak for other races, but I know especially with my black people. It's like, what is going on? Like I said before, it's already a high emotion time. People upset, people grieving, all this kind of stuff. Let the people grieve and let the loved one rest in peace. All these kind of things that people are usually fighting over money, items, having arguments, relationship issues. I guess I put it that way. From past relationships that nobody wants to even go back and talk about. When somebody dies, that's going to affect that. It's going to bring that back to the forefront because y'all going to be at the funeral together. These are things that y'all could have been working on, as I always said, a long time ago. When it comes to death, we have got to make sure that we have our stuff in order. I'll do more videos about this and podcasts about this a little bit later on, but we have to make sure that we have our stuff in order. By stuff, I mean our wills, our wishes, what we want to see, who's going to get what. I guess I put it that way. So there, and what you want to have, and what you want happening to you when you die. There shouldn't be all this confusion and arguing back and forth and fighting over items and fighting over money and people falling out because somebody died and they ain't getting no money, all this kind of stuff. Somebody, whoever the caretaker was, is what it's people claim, that the caretakers always take everything and never give anybody anything and all this kind of stuff. If y'all work on these things while the person is still alive, there shouldn't be any issue when they die. And that's for all of us. Like I said, we have got to get to a point where we can have a funeral, we'll have a homegoing celebration for somebody where there's no drama and trauma, even when it comes to the messed up relationships that we have with each other, which should never have been. And I can understand if there was some trauma, sexual abuse, violence. I understand that part. But if it's just a he said, she said, and somebody said the wrong thing and somebody got upset and y'all ain't talked in 20 years, that's something y'all got to figure out. That makes no sense at all. When somebody died, you're going to have to be there together anyway. Then there's trauma and issues of somebody got an attitude, and nobody wants to hear that bull crap at all. When y'all at a homegoing celebration and somebody bringing up some old trauma and drama, figure that stuff out before you even get to that point. This should be stuff that we do every single week, every single day, every single month, every single year, not just when somebody dies. There should never be all this trauma and drama. Why do we act a fool and fall out when there's a death in the family? Just why, people? Make sure y'all, like I said, make sure y'all are putting this in the comments. Why do you think so? Why do you think the death brings out the worst in people? Put it in the comments. Podcast, Social Worker Coach Podcast, and on YouTube. Again, make sure that y'all are subscribing to the podcast and to the YouTube channel as well. Whenever you hear my voice, say and subscribe. Make sure you already subscribe unless you already are. If not, go ahead and subscribe right now. But like I said, we have to get to a point, y'all. We should not be arguing and fighting. And there were some cases in my last job, y'all, in my past, when I worked with the seniors, and just ridiculous. Folks fighting. I mean, when I say over money, now, the same thing now. I hear it now. Excuse me. Folks fighting over money. Who's going to get so-and-so's belongings because they passed away. What you going to do with it? You going to let us just sit there and rot? So why don't you sell it? Why don't you do this? Folks fall out because of that all the time. Folks fall out. They want to have something different at the funeral or whatever kind of service you're having. The person want to be cremated. The person, whoever's paying for it, is not following the wishes. People are getting upset. That happens all the time, and it should never be. We should have our stuff in order already. I'm talking to all y'all. I don't care if y'all 1 year old and you hear my voice. Your parents should already have your stuff in order already. It only takes about maybe an hour at the most to sit down and plan for what you want when you die. Figure out your will. Figure out where your money going. Figure out who's going to be your beneficiaries. It don't even take that long. Actually, when you're applying for bank accounts and insurance and stuff like that, all this stuff is on there already. Just put the stuff on there. You ain't got to worry about it. But we should not have to be acting a fool when somebody passes away. And we, like I said, we're already grieving high emotion. What is the point? Make those plans before you die as much as you can. Actually, I ain't gonna say much as you can. Everybody can. I put it that way. My partner already knows I want to be cremated. All my other stuff, everything is my beneficiaries should be already on my account already. I don't need a will really, but I mean some people do. It depends. Well, I guess it just depends. But everything is my beneficiaries are already staying on my accounts already. The bank knows what to do. The stocks know what to do. Whatever else I got, know what to do. It's like, come on now, people. We have got to plan. We plan for everything else. Plan for our birthdays, for our weddings, plan for everything except for our death. And then when you die, there's all type of chaos that's ensuing. Who gonna pay for it? Then talk about paying for something. A lot of my black families, I don't know what the hell. Do y'all not believe in life insurance? We sit up here and talk about how poor we are, we ain't got no money, how we can't get ahead. You can get $1 million policy on any damn body. And when they die, you collect $1 million. That's how that goes. Build your bank account if you want to look at it like that. Sadly, in the eye of death. It should be no reason why we don't have any life insurance. I don't care if it's a whole or whatever it's going to be. Some type of life insurance that's going to cover you when you die. Pay for your funeral expenses, cremation, whatever you're trying to get. Unless you have a prepaid burial plan, that's just the burial. That does not cover the funeral, the casket costs, all that kind of stuff. The embalming, it never covers that. Get yourself some life insurance. There's no reason. I know people that do sell life insurance. You have to reach out to somebody that's in your area, wherever you want to reach out to them to, that sells life insurance. We always get the little mailings in the mail from Globe Life and Gerber Life, and there's no reason why you, and if you have kids, your kids should not have life insurance. At least a $10,000 policy. That's a few dollars a month. No more than about $10, $15. Depends on the state you live in. I'd say $25 a month. No more than that. And it shouldn't even be half that. We have got to get to a point where we're planning for these things, y'all. We shouldn't be acting a fool trying to figure out, I can't bury so-and-so, so I'm going to go out here and ask for money on the street corner. I can't tell you how many times I've been in St. Louis. Of course, I was in St. Louis for 40-some years. But see, whenever somebody dies, you seeing folks outside with coffee cans trying to collect money to bury this person. That should never be. But it happened every day. I saw it every single day. Seriously. It was mostly black folks. I don't think I even saw a white person, any other race. I always saw black folks, actually. Maybe it was the area I lived in. I don't know. But I always saw black folks. I see it online as well. Asking for, what is that stuff called? I forgot what it's called. When you're collecting money and raising money online. I forgot what the site called, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm just like, this is crazy. There's no reason why we should be doing these kind of things at all. Have a life insurance policy. Don't take that much to even sign up for. It really doesn't. That just drives me crazy. It really does. That's just sad. I can't tell you how many folks I've seen buried where there was fighting over who gonna pay for what. We ain't got the money. Can we borrow some money? That should never be. That should never be, y'all. If you're hearing my voice, that should never be. Get a life insurance policy. You can get a life insurance policy on anybody you want to get it on. Kids, mama, daddy, whoever it is. Husband, wife, whoever it is. That'll be guaranteed money for you to, of course, help pay off their bills and their debt when they pass away, if they have any. And if not, you can use it however you please afterwards. But you have got to get something to cover that person when they're dying, y'all. How else, if everybody's working paycheck to paycheck, how you going to pay for the funeral? Most funerals are about $10,000. Between, let me see, $7,500, $7,000, I guess, starting to, between $7,000 and $10,000. Most funerals, especially if you want the casket and to use their time, I guess, like to have their hall or whatever it is. You have to pay for all those things, the embalming, all those things. They're not free. The city will bury somebody. They won't embalm, they won't do nothing. Throw you in a pine box and it's actually the truth in an unmarked grave somewhere. They'll do that for you for like a few $100s. Which makes no sense. We should have life insurance policies. We should have the wills, if you need the will. We should have the information for our beneficiaries already on our accounts, stocks, bonds, whatever it is. You should have, if you had expensive items, jewelry, diamonds, cars, whatever, you should already have a backup plan for those things. Who's going to get what? You have to divvy that stuff out and take care of that stuff yourself, so your family ain't sitting up here fighting to trying to do all this stuff and arguing and falling out because it was never done. That's ridiculous. I don't care if I'm stepping on toes. I really don't care because I'm sick and tired of seeing this stuff. I know I'm not the only one. As a social worker coach, I've seen this the entire growing up, I guess up until this day, and I've seen it professionally as well in the workplace with the clients I've worked with. This just don't make no sense, y'all. Why does death bring out the worst in people? It's because we're not prepared when death happens. I know there's only so much that you could be prepared with. I understand that. What I'm talking about, hold on, y'all. Now I know, like I said, I know there's only so much that you. I'm not talking about preparing yourself for the emotions and the grief when somebody dies. I'm talking about preparing for the actual death in itself. How you gonna bury the person? What they wanted? Where their stuff goes? Where their money goes? Who gets the cars? That stuff should already be done and written out, y'all. Signed by an attorney, however you want to do it. And the will does have to have an attorney, but still, I would definitely recommend having it signed by an attorney or somebody, notary somebody, so that it can legally be bonding. I guess I put it that way. I'm not an attorney. I would say there's in the life care organizations that should be in your city. There's attorneys who deal with elder care, attorneys who deal with wills and trusts and stuff like that. Reach one, just contact them and ask them, or look online and search it to figure out what you need for your, I guess, for you, and for the folks around you when they die. Like I said, there's all types of life insurance policies: term life, whole life. Find you one. It doesn't matter which one. In my eyes, it doesn't matter which one. You just have to have something. But I would definitely say the research. But I'm just sick and tired of seeing families going through all this chaos when somebody dies. I cannot tell you. Working with seniors for the last about 6, 7 years, there has been probate court is always alive and popping. Just know that. Probate court is the court that you, of course, are assigned when someone in your family dies and the will is not carried out the way it's supposed to be, or there was no will, and somebody's taken all the stuff and haven't given anybody else anything. Probate court is where folks go when somebody dies, when they're fighting and arguing over the things that they want, and they can't come to a middle ground themselves when this should have already been done. It takes money to go to probate court. It takes time. It could take years to get done with the court case in probate court. It could take thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to probate court. Somebody got to pay for the attorneys and the judge's time, and the court clerk and all these folks that's working on your behalf. We should already have this stuff done before we even get to a point where we can't even make our own decisions. Like I said, I'll talk about this more, but today we're just talking about why death brings out the worst in people. And make sure, again, Social Worker Coach Podcast, if you listen to it on there or whatever platform, make sure that you subscribe to my podcast. And YouTube, make sure that you're subscribing to this podcast vlog, I guess you would say as well. Make sure that you subscribe as well. A podcast video. Make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. And again, this podcast episode is sponsored by the Social Worker Coach, and I want to make sure that y'all pick up for free The Power of Journaling. It's a workshop, and then there's 100 writing prompts that will help you start getting on your writing journey so that you can start healing and lessening your triggers, y'all, and dealing with these kind of issues. But like I said, there's no reason why we should be going through this all the time, every single death, y'all. Like I said, please leave in the comments how, when there's death in your family, is everything in order, or are y'all fighting and arguing and there's chaos? Like I said, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know, please. Unless it's just a black thing, I don't know. But I know that it's not, because I've seen other races do the same thing too. Well, Mexican and white, I've seen that, and black. Haven't seen the others, I don't know. But if you're from any race, it does not matter. Let me know how death is done to your family. Do y'all have chaos surrounding it? Everybody's fighting over stuff, and the paper, the legal paperwork is not done, and y'all have no idea what the person needed, or you have no money to even bury the person. Let me know down in the comments, or when somebody dies in your family, is it all smooth sailing? Everything is fine and dandy? Let me know in the comments, y'all. But like I said, we have to get to a point where we already have these things planned already. Yes, you cannot plan for the emotions, the grief, like I just said, surrounding a death. But you can plan for what the person wants when they die. You can already have that written. You can plan for who gets what when that person's died. That can always be written. You can always plan for what the person, how the funeral services, or cremation services, or the memorial service, whatever it is going to go when that person dies. It should already be written. It should already be written. I can't stress that enough, y'all. As a social worker, almost been 24 years this month, I see this professionally and personally. This should not always be happening. At some point, we have to get smart about these things. That's why I said I'm going to do some more videos and podcast episodes talking about death and dying, so that y'all can get some more information out there to make sound decisions. I guess I put it that way as well, and to know what's available to you. Because some of y'all may not be going over these things because you have no idea what's what, and you may not know what's available to you. But like I said, your girl's gonna be talking about that. So make sure that y'all are subscribing to the Social Worker Coach podcast, and of course my YouTube channel that you're looking at this on. And we're not going to stay on death for months and months and months. Just know that. But for the next few podcast episodes, I will be talking about something surrounding death and dying or end of life care, because we have to know what's out there, especially my black people, in order to take advantage of these services. So with that, like I said, this is Tonetta Clay, your social worker coach. I want to say thank you for tuning in. And the podcast, y'all can't see my cute jewelry. I just thought about it and talked about it in the beginning. But I got a cute jewelry set on today, y'all. It's blue, pretty blue. It's like a marble almost. Long necklace that goes all with my belly button. It's so cute, y'all. Look at this little medallion. It's so cute. It has like a little turquoise little circle in the middle. So podcast, y'all gonna have to come over to my YouTube and subscribe to see all this stuff. But check out these earrings, y'all. It looks just like the necklace, y'all. And I got a bracelet too. Isn't that cute, y'all? Like I said, my coworker blessed me with all this jewelry, y'all. And every time I come on here, I want to have a set on. I don't care if it's the same set twice a year, whatever it is. But I have a whole lot of sets that I probably wanted me to use all of them one this year. I put it that way. But like I said, if y'all want to see the set, y'all, come on over on YouTube podcast, Social Worker Coach Podcast, and make sure that y'all are subscribing to that channel as well. Because I also do YouTube videos that's not on this podcast. I also do other videos that y'all will not see on this podcast at all. So make sure that y'all come to subscribe on my YouTube channel. And that link that I'll leave in the description, the Social Worker Coach Podcast, that will lead you to my YouTube channel. Just scroll all the way down to social media, and you'll be able to, of course, connect with me on my YouTube channel as well. And anywhere else on social media you want to connect with me at, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I have all those pages too, and LinkedIn as well. Let me know. Just go ahead and subscribe to so I can start knowing who y'all are. But make sure that y'all put in the comments. I definitely want to hear from y'all. When there's a death in your family, has it been chaotic or has it been smooth sailing? Let me know, y'all. Again, this is Tonetta Clay, your social worker coach, signing off. Peace out, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next episode.